Hey everyone, my name is Pete O'Neill and this is Vision Mindset, a show where we try to encourage and inspire people to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. Don't click away, because if you do, I'll know. So, you're probably wondering who Pete O'Neill is and what is Vision Mindset. What is a Vision Mindset? How do you have a Vision Mindset? So, really quick, I went through a period of depression in 2014. It was rough. And anybody who's been in a position where they feel sad or they're depressed understands that depression is kind of like the monster on the inside that just gnaws away at you. And everyone that you encounter, your friends, your family, your coworkers, they might not know, because we're really good at putting on a facade. We're really good at letting people think that everything's great. I know I am. People would come up to me and say, "Hey, Pete, how's everything going?" "I'm great. Everything's just fantastic." You know that fake smile that you can do? "I'm great, great." And you get so accustomed to doing that you never really pay attention to yourself, to what's going on inside of you. And that monster, that depression monster, is just still gnawing away at you. So that was me. And in 2015, around spring, I kind of came out of that. I said, I can't go through this anymore. I can't feel this way anymore. And I decided to start saying affirmations to myself every day. So I would wake up and I would say, "You know what? You're a great man and you're going to do great things." And the next day, I felt the same way. I still felt as horrible as I did the day before. So I did it again. I woke up and I said, "You're a great man and you're going to do great things." And the day after that, I said, "You're a great man and you're going to do great things." And the day after that, I said, "You're a great man and you're going to do great things." And you know what? After a few weeks of doing that, it's funny how the body and the mind begin to respond to what you tell it. So I figured, hey, this worked for me. Why don't I start to post some of this online? So on Facebook, I would just kind of write little things that I thought would help others. And I was amazed at the response I got in Facebook Messenger. "Oh my gosh, Pete, this really helped me. I needed this today. Oh, what you said yesterday on Facebook was so timely and it helped me." So I decided to start a web series called Vision Mindset. I was already creating content and shooting videos at home and around town, and I decided that we would put this into a show. So to have a vision mindset is to be looking forward, not with your eyes, but with what you have up here, to see where you want to be, and then try to imagine yourself there, and then making your dreams become reality. We've got some great people that we're going to interview over the course of not only this episode, but over the course of the series. And I hope that they say something or tell you something or bring you some message that helps to encourage you. And maybe one person might not have the same experience that you do, but you may be able to take something from what they say and apply it to your own life. My name is Pete O'Neill, and this is Vision Mindset. Today we have Jonathan Passley, president of PDR Web Solutions. We're going to have him in studio to talk about some of the challenges that he's faced in starting a business and how he overcame different hurdles in his life. This is Vision Mindset. Don't go anywhere. Have you ever lifted weights? If so, you know that when you first pick up a weight, it's light. But the more repetitions you do, the heavier the weight gets and the harder it gets to lift it. Life is the same way. When life starts throwing you curveballs and gets harder, it means you're about to have a breakthrough. So keep lifting.
If you had told me 3 years ago that I would have my own web series, I would have laughed at you. You never set out to be the person that wants to help others. It's something that just happens. You learn how to push through your own pain and convert that into encouragement. Motivation is more than just a feeling. It's more than encouragement. Those are just the genesis to what we become through our journey and through our transformation. Life is all about that journey, and I believe that everyone has a purpose. They just need help finding it. I'm Pete O'Neill Jr., and this is Vision Mindset.
John, it is great to see you. Great to have you in studio. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me out. It's great to be here. Great to be here.
So a lot of the folks that view my show don't know who you are, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Sure. So Jonathan Passley, I'm president of PDR Web Solutions. So I started the business when I was 22 years old, and now almost 10 years later, we've served over 300 customers, really internationally. What we basically do is we come into a business almost like a full-time marketing department, and help them generate more customers, for their business using online marketing. So, in a nutshell, that's basically what we do. Yeah.
So you're at a point where you're young, you get bit by the entrepreneurial bug, right? You make a couple of dollars, and some time goes by, and you decide to launch PDR Web Solutions. So in between when you launched the web company and now, tell me some of the challenges that you've had, some of the obstacles that you've had to overcome along the way.
One of the more recent hurdles that I've had, so in April of, this is what, 2017 now, so April of 2016, right? One day I'm in the office, working hard like any entrepreneur, right? And working late. And one day, this evening, that evening was like April 20th or something like that. I all of a sudden just, kind of coughed something up and like there's blood in it, right? I'm like, that's kind of weird. So let me try to do it again, see if I can duplicate it, and do it again, and blood in it again. I'm like, okay, well, back to work, right? So I go back to work. My wife's voice in the back of my head kind of starts, saying, "No, Jonathan, you need to go home." And so I'm like, okay, no, let me go home because just in case, whatever, I'm home if there's anything. And so I pack up my stuff and I start to leave the office. And I feel a little nauseous. I'm like, well, I can go home. Not too far from home. So let me just go to the bathroom just in case. So I go to the bathroom. Long story short, and all of a sudden I start just throwing up nothing but blood.
Wow.
Nothing but blood. And as it's coming up, I'm like, what in the world? It's just
Frightening.
Frightening.
Yeah.
Frightening. So I'm not a hospital guy, but I think when you start throwing up nothing but blood,
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. So go to the hospital, and they check you in and things like that. And the doctors will say, hey, you know what? Most likely it's an ulcer. You're a business guy, stress and all that. It's ulcer. We'll go in. We'll do an endoscopy. Shove a camera down your throat. Look at it. It's probably ulcer. We'll patch you up. You'll be good to go. I said, okay, good. So, they hold me overnight, and the next morning they put me to sleep. And so I wake up after they put me to sleep, and all I see is like doctors rushing around. And I see
It's the last thing you want to see.
the last thing you want to see, right?
Right.
And I see my wife, and at the time, 2-month-old son. My wife looks super worried, right? And I got all this stuff shoved down my throat and all that, and I'm like, but something in me is like, something's not right. Something's not right. And at that point, I just pray and say, God, please don't take me away from my wife and 2-month-old son. I'm not thinking about business. I'm not thinking about all these goals. It's them at that time. And long story short, fast forward. What happened was that there was a tumor on my stomach that burst.
Wow.
And I was literally bleeding to death.
Wow.
And, so they had to go in and cut it out. And they cut out about 75% of my stomach, parts of my liver. And, so I'm there recovering. And I'm thinking that's it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That sounds like major surgery and all that. So after that, they say, okay, Jonathan, will you follow up with an oncologist? I'm like, okay, I don't know what an oncologist is. I'm like, that's just a doctor, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I just went through surgery. Cool. All right, whatever. So I go to the oncologist, and he doesn't have the best bedside manner, should I say. I guess he's kind of immune to, he sees patients all the day. Right? He's like, well, Jonathan, look, I've got a conference in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to make this quick. Let's just not beat around the bush. Jonathan, you've got cancer. Yep, and it's stage 4. The reason why it's stage 4, because we found it on your stomach, we found it on your liver. It's spread. It's stage 4. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you on this medicine. You take it. If you don't take it, bad things are going to happen to you. Yeah, that's it. Now, if you have questions, because we had questions, my nurse, she's gonna be here in a second. She'll answer any questions you have, because I got 2 more minutes left. I go to my conference. She'll answer any questions you have. She'll tell you about the medicine, and yeah, you know.
So you just found out you've had cancer. You've had major surgery. You find out you have cancer, and the doctor doesn't have time to talk to you.
No.
Wow.
Nope, doesn't.
Like, you're here, you look great.
Thanks.
Thanks. What did you? So that whole process where you went through your treatment and you're coming, on the other side of this, you found out you've got cancer, you're taking your medication. What did you do specifically for John? Not for PDR, not for anyone else. What did you do to get yourself through this, to say, okay, I'm going to muster up some strength to get through this situation, and I want to get back to where I was before?
Sure. So it was nothing but God, man. Nothing but God. You know, I'm definitely not going to sit here and say I had all this strength and blah, 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 because everyone has a limit.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was taken to my limits because, you know, once you hear that news, then nowadays you have something called Google, which can be a gift and a curse, because
if your toe itches, you're dying.
Oh,
if your
my
ear is
goodness.
itching, you're dying.
You're dying. Oh my goodness, your mind starts taking over, and you start Googling stuff, and you start joining these forums on Facebook, and then like, oh my goodness,
It's all bad news.
It's all bad news. So actually, the first year, I said I didn't want any of the medicine, because I Googled it, and like the only thing I found was like, oh, you're gonna die if you take this medicine, and this, that, the other, and like, cause you know, you have both sides. You know, you have the natural community, and you have the traditional, and they both think each other have no idea what they're talking about, right? So, you know, so you have no idea what to do. You're stuck in the middle, like, well, where should I go? Because each one is saying no to the other. So the first year, I did the whole natural thing. I'm like, no medicine, it's evil, blah blah blah, you know, and that was a journey in itself. But for me, it allowed me to just kind of sum it all up. It allowed me to see that you're not in control. I mean, I think everybody thinks that they're in control. They try their best to maintain control. You know, we think we control our days. We think we control this, that, the other. But literally right now, like, this building can catch on fire. We have no control.
I hope that doesn't.
I hope that doesn't
Is there
happen.
A fire extinguisher.
You know, like you think you have control, but you know, I think sometimes these challenges happen. God places these certain obstacles in your life to remind you, like, you're not in control, buddy.
So if you had a message or one thing that you could tell people that are going through something difficult, maybe it's health related, maybe it's something else in life, loss of a loved one, but being in that place of hurt and trying to figure out what the future held for you and coming through that, what would you tell someone else that's right in the thick of something right now?
I know it's hard, but try to look for the lesson in your pain. Try to look for the lesson in your challenge. There's always a lesson to be learned. I think lessons are learned not in the successes. You don't learn anything. The only thing you learn when you're successful is that you think you're the absolute ish, right?
Right.
You're the man, you're the woman, like, I did it. I mean, you didn't learn anything from there. But when you fail, you're like, well, I'm not going to do that again. You know, you learn through those challenges, those failures and things like that. So if you're in an obstacle, if you're in pain, whatever it is, try to find the lesson and learn from it, because the downs are only temporary.
Right.
I mean, there's ups and downs, there's valleys, and you know, and mountains in your life. So you might be in that valley, you might be in that low point in your life, but just know that, you know, an up is coming soon. And I think the sooner that you learn that lesson in your lows, the faster you can come up out of it and get to, you know, the higher place that you need to go. So
that's awesome. Outstanding. Well, thanks for joining us on the show. It's been great talking to you, and I'm sure that someone watching right now is going to take something from what you said and be able to apply that to their own life.
Well, hoping they do. Hoping they do. So.
Thanks, John.
All right. Thank you.
Wow, that was an amazing interview. It was an amazing testimony by my friend John. Just to hear his story it was so compelling to understand that someone could receive news that they've got cancer and then be able to push through that, find some comfort in God and in religion, and then be able to run a business at the same time. I can only hope that if I found myself in a situation like that I would have that same level of strength. I hope that you can find something in what John said that you can apply to your own life, something that you can take from that and put that into your own toolbox moving forward. And we hope that you enjoyed this episode of Vision Mindset. If you like this, feel free to check us out on the web at www.visionmindset.net. Take care.